All right, here with new ASU quarterback Sam Leavitt. Obviously, when you're looking at some of the schools that are coming after you put your name in the portal, why was Arizona State ultimately the right place for you?
Yeah, it's just after having so many conversations with Coach Gillingham and Coach Arroyo, you got a feel for the type of coaches they are and the system they run, and just felt like the best fit for me.
And what were some of the things that some of the maybe the boxes at your next destination that you wanted to check off that Arizona State ultimately was able to check off for you?
Yeah, I mean, for one, they've had success with other quarterbacks in the past. Coach Gillingham being with Bo Nix and Jordan Travis, Coach Arroyo being with Justin Herbert. So, they've had proven success with quarterbacks. Obviously, you can see Bo Nix for the Heisman, and Jordan Travis probably would have been as well. And then, Justin Herbert obviously playing really well in the NFL. So it's just, things along those lines.
And of course, once you got a chance to kind of, see things in person up close on a visit, what were the things that kind of jumped out about just the program, the surroundings, the facilities, every kind of all-encompassingly the time in Tempe?
Yeah, I think it's just how the whole coaching staff meshes. It feels like it's a family environment, and everyone gets along. And, I really like the stadium. Got to see that. It's just, you just feel a certain type of juice about the whole coaching staff.
It's kind of maybe along those lines of the juice of the coaching staff. What was kind of your read on just kind of the vibe and the culture surrounding the Sun Devil football under Kenny Dillingham heading into its second season?
Yeah, it feels new, but it feels like he's really creating this really good culture. And I can't wait to go be a part of it. I feel like he's been successful everywhere he's went. So, just teaching kids how to win, and being 1 year in last year, it's difficult, but as something builds, I just feel like it's going to turn into something really nice.
Obviously, this is a relationship that you've had with Kenny since his time back all the way at Florida State, and they were the Seminoles were after you as well. How have you seen kind of that relationship continue to grow over the years as he's kind of maybe jumped spots, and now that you guys are reuniting in Tempe?
Yeah, I originally got offered my sophomore year by him when I went on a visit there. Got to know him a little bit. I was still young in the process, so I didn't really know what I was looking for, what other coaches were like. That was my first visit actually ever. Um, and then, got to see him go from there to Oregon, and just continued success, and building up the rankings, and then going to Arizona State. So it's just cool seeing him, develop and have the success that he's had.
With that the development and kind of making the jumps over the years and rising up the ranks. You first knew him when he was an OC. Now he's a head coach. How do you see him as kind of the leader of the program? Kind of overseeing not just the offense but all aspects of this Sun Devil football program.
Yeah, I mean, for one, he's a really honest man. So that's a big thing you look for in a head coach, and it's just the way that they carry themselves. So 24/7, he's the same person. You can ask anybody in the staff. He was the same person I met sophomore year as he is now. So it's just the consistency and the type of person he is. It's going to take him a long ways.
So obviously getting to know Kenny Dillingham, and also, as you mentioned earlier, Marcus Arroyo, ASU's new offensive coordinator. When you got to really kind of talk ball, X's and O's, and dive into the offensive scheme, what really jumped out to you about what the offense asks of its quarterback, what the kind of the features, and kind of what you really are excited most to run?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way that I can control the whole game myself, whether it's checking out a pass plays, checking the protection, knowing where the blitz coming from, when my running back's going to get out in protections, just having the whole tool bag in terms of that. So, if we don't have the right look on a run play, I have every tool to get out of that out of 4 different looks, and so it's just I have a whole playbook I can choose from, which is my favorite way to play because now I can dictate how the game goes.
Any Sun Devil fans out there who might not have seen you in action for the Spartans, give our listeners kind of a self-scouting report. What are the things that you bring to the field in terms of your skill set and weapons?
Yeah, I feel like one, I get out there and bring a lot of juice, so I'm gonna make everyone around me play a lot better. Um, Two, I feel like I'm a playmaker. I'll make plays when nothing's there, and I have a strong arm as well, and um, I feel like I'm a smart player with the ball, so I'm not gonna make a lot of turnovers, and yeah, I feel like I know how to win.
Are there any quarterbacks out there that you kind of model certain aspects of your game after?
I don't know if I model certain aspects. I kind of just try to make what plays are right for me when the time is. But I like to watch. like to watch a lot of Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes obviously is really fun to watch. But I like a lot of Joe Burrow stuff.
You're obviously a very good guy to model some stuff after as well. Of course, looking back at last year, you got some game action with Michigan State. What kind of jumped out to you about your performance in that first year, and how long do you think it took you to kind of acclimate to making the jump up from high school ball to obviously the Big Ten?
Yeah, I felt like I did a really good job. I didn't have too many opportunities in every game. It was kind of just like, you get thrown in there and you got to go make a play on the first drive. So I felt like, almost every single first drive that I was in, made an impact in the game against Minnesota going and scoring. And Michigan should have went down and drove and was on the way to score and got marched short of the line of scrimmage or the first down marker. But, yeah.
So, of course, he had some experience in the Big Ten, but now coming down here to ASU, and they're making the big move to the Big 12. Do you think anything that, kind of that from your experiences and lessons learned from a season in the Big Ten can translate forward to the Big 12?
Yeah, it's just more games under my belt. And, playing in Big Ten, you're going to play against, we played Michigan and Ohio State in the best competition in the nation. So it's going to set you up for anywhere. There's a lot of the front sevens, obviously, dominant in the Big Ten, so you got to feel the physicality of what college football is all about.
Of course, coming down here, as a blue chip recruit yourself, another blue chipper here as well, in Jaden Rashada. What do you see as kind of the value of competition, especially in a quarterback room?
Yeah, you just always are going to get pushed every single day. So it's what are you going to do to get better that day compared to the other person? Because at the end of the day, you're not competing against them. You're competing against everyone in the nation and yourself because you're trying to get to the NFL. And so it's always gonna be beneficial in a quarterback room to have that competition so that the best man's going to win out, and you go from there. But it makes everyone better.
So, of course, in this era, obviously ASU's been very active and had a very successful weekend, landing several commits, including yourself over this past weekend. Kind of as the quarterback, as that that leader, are you kind of looking to rally some others to join you here in Tempe?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm always talking to Coach Royal and Dillingham and just figuring out who else we need to get, and I'll hit them up on the phone, and I just need to get everyone I can so we can do something real special.
And of course, as a quarterback, you're a leader of that offense. How would you describe your leadership style and some of the things that you think really kind of stand out about you as a leader?
Yeah, I feel like for one, they're going to see the work that I put in the off season. So everything I say on the field is from the heart. I'm not going to BS anybody, and I feel like everybody sees how genuine I am. And on the field, I get everybody juiced up. If whether it's dead or when we're too high, I'll calm everyone down. I feel like I'm always going to be sort of that middleman that has good energy, so that's what I feel like I do.
A guy who began his life in the Pacific Northwest, making the way over to East Lansing now, heading out to the desert. You ready for kind of the desert life and maybe some of the summer heat?
Yeah, I'm ready to see what it's all about.
So looking ahead to next fall, what are some of the goals you have for yourself that when you look back upon that 2024 season that you want to make sure that you were able to accomplish?
Yeah, I have a bunch of numbers goals in my phone for the season, but I'm not going to sit here and list those. I feel like some of the main ones, is obviously win the starting job, win X amount of games, and just have a successful season and set ourselves up for the future. Going into year one, I still got high standards, but it's going to be difficult to obviously go win the Big 12 as a first year in the system and all that, but I feel like it's really possible. But just having constant growth throughout the whole season and always getting better.
Your commitment has really gotten some ASU fans pretty excited about in the course of this off season. So, what would be your message to Sun Devil fans? Obviously, the program's had a couple of rough years, but trend line is moving in the right direction, moving up. What would be your kind of message to Sun Devil fans about what you're going to be bringing and kind of the future of Sun Devil football with you?
Yeah, as a fan, I feel like you can be really exciting this time because you got a new staff with a new fresh team coming in, and there's a lot of upside. So you're going to see a lot of high-powered offense performance, and you saw last year a really good defense as well. So there's a lot of things to look forward to.